racist, rage-baiting IRL streamer from Tennessee is in some trouble after shooting a man, shooting himself, and being arrested for it all. Now, before we start this video, I want to make it clear we do not condone or promote racism in any way, shape, or form on this channel, and I have carefully edited this video to comply with all of YouTube's very strict policies. So hopefully this doesn't get demonetized for any reason, because all we are doing is providing commentary and going over what people shouldn't do. Quick pause, because this might actually help you out. If you've ever needed access to your money before payday, there's a banking app called Current that lets you get up to $750 as a paycheck advance once you qualify. So instead of waiting for payday, you can get access to your funds earlier when you actually need them. Paycheck advance is clearly my favorite part, and I'm sure will be yours too. But if you're trying to build your credit or just want your direct deposit sooner, it handles all of that in one app. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you straight to the option to enter my promo code Jake1090, which unlocks the tight sometimes. It's definitely worth just checking it out, because that's literally what it's designed for, helping people like you stay more on top of their finances.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store preloaded with 20 handpicked products that are trending all over the world, basically validated by AI from a trending product database from one of the top vendors on the planet. And the reason that we can do this completely free for you is because, well, Shopify is paying me to do it. You've probably seen me before because
May 13th, 2026, it was 1:20 in the afternoon when law enforcement responded to the Montgomery County Courthouse in Clarksville, Tennessee, after reports of shots fired. Arriving on scene, they'd find two men shot who were fighting each other when one drew a gun, shooting the other and himself in the process. Immediately, social media exploded as the shooter was identified as none other than 28-year-old Dalton Etherly, aka Chud the Builder. The IRL streamer known for rage baiting the public with racial slurs and his catchphrase, "They're chimping out."
Just tripping. Tripping.
Yeah, keep talking
What?
from a show.
Like,
It's the usual suspect.
And I'm a show. Don't say a mother thing to my kids.
I wonder who pissed her off. She's chimping out. Chimping out.
Now we chimping out.
She's chimping out.
Chimping out.
Now this video would clearly
shit.
show a woman enraged, but wouldn't show the interaction leading up to it. Without full context, Chud would post the video attempting to push stereotypes and promote prejudice as he says the usual suspects. But in this next video, Chud would blatantly use the N-word and show everyone the type of person he is.
You know, my favorite line from the is, you got freedom of speech. You just don't have the freedom of consequences from your speech. It's like telling an inmate, hey, you got the freedom to leave your jail cell. You just don't have the freedom of consequences.
No.
Hey, you got the freedom to
Don't
speak.
be screaming.
But we're going to threaten you with deadly violence if you do use that freedom. Hey, you got the freedom to leave your jail cell, but we're going to threaten you with deadly violence if you do use that freedom. It doesn't sound like the inmate's very free. Oh, well, we all know that because he's an inmate. Oh, but it doesn't sound like the white man's very free. You're going to threaten me with deadly violence? You're going to threaten to starve my family and my company? Am I really free to do that? And if I'm not free, then why are we not fighting for our freedoms back? Are we just okay with losing our freedoms as white people?
Even
A weak attempt at justifying racism with freedom of speech. Comparing himself to an inmate who lacks freedom because he receives threats for being blatantly racist and disrespectful just shows you how weak Chud or Dalton really is. Because Dalton is the type of person that wants the ability to bully without the consequence of getting beat. To further prove this point, Chud would go out of his way to target and disrespect any black person he thought he could get a reaction from, hoping for a viral moment he could monetize and profit off. And he would do this by claiming he was exercising his freedom of speech protected by his First Amendment. But when he ran into someone who was not only willing to defend himself, but to actually
everything
fight,
above and one yogurt.
Chud
one
hid
milk.
behind the Second Amendment,
You ever heard of
his right to
snacks?
bear arms.
For yogurt, but
He
she needs to eat
chimping out.
something else.
He
'Cause
said,
she
"What's
don't
the issue?" Because I
want-
looked at him.
No, I didn't give
He
her a soup.
chimping out.
Put that phone down. Put
Why?
that phone down.
You don't like looking ugly?
Put that phone down, bitch ass boy.
Shut up.
Mm.
Come on, come do something. Come do something.
Put that phone
Pull up.
Oh, he got found.
Yeah, walk up.
Alright.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, alright.
They chimping out. They chimping out. They parked in the fire lane, chimping out.
I'm
They
right
mad.
here.
They
I'm
mad
right
because I'm.
here.
They mad because I'm holding my shit.
I'm right here.
You better get out my face.
I'm right here.
Get out my face, boy.
Hey, you
So Chud wasn't just rage baiting the public, he was provoking while armed, waiting for someone to assault him so he had the so-called legal excuse to defend himself by shooting them. But legally, that isn't stand your ground. Tennessee is very similar to where I live at, Florida. Florida is very similar to Texas. All three of these states share the stand your ground law. But one of the little conditions for stand your ground is you cannot lawfully stand your ground if you provoked the confrontation.
Come do something. Come do something.
put that phone
Pull up.
Oh, he got found.
Yeah, walk up.
So for example, you can't tell somebody fuck you, and when they say they're gonna do something or they call you this and that, you say try me, touch me, hit me, swing. I bet you won't. That's provoking. Somebody does something to you and then you pop them, that's not self-defense. You caused that. Chud would post his version of events to Twitter stating, they are parking in the fire lane, chimps blaring music and dancing outside of the car. Got mad at me when I walked by with visible disgust. Proceeded to chimp out through the entire store. Usual suspects, plus 100 fatigue. This post would get over 4.8 million views, and some of Chud's videos would reach tens of millions of views. He'd follow up with a video addressing those who called him out for hiding behind a gun, telling him to try his
chimping
antics
out.
without
Everybody
one.
chimping out.
EVE Online is a vast universe.
The chimps keep saying, why do you need the gun though? Leave the gun at home. Why do I need a gun? To protect myself while just simply existing as a free man. I can say what I want. We can say whatever we want.
Do
This
you
is
not
America.
understand how
You shouldn't
fast
react
he
with a
went
chimp out or violent aggression,
to going
threats
to
of deadly
jail?
violence. That just proves our point.
Why did he do
Oh,
that?
do this without the gun though. Hey cowboy, leave your gun at home and then come out in the street and do a duel.
What's the point?
What are you, dumb? The cowboy's always got his gun. Are you stupid? You're a bitch. No,
Oh,
you are.
so you
You're
think this is
chimping
the
out
Wild
because
Wild
I'm
West?
a free
Hey,
man.
cowboys, come
and you're
outside
mad.
and
I don't know who you
duel.
are.
This-
Y'all know who I am.
This is not.
And if
the
it wasn't
Midwest.
a gun he
This is
relied
not-
on, it was mace. Because
1800s.
spraying people was another way he could bring in even more views, equaling more money.
If he
so
was
again,
born back in
he'd
them days, he
target
probably would've
whoever
been
he
dead.
thought would react, even preying on the homeless.
It's
in the
real
park.
quick. I don't think he
I don't
that
need
quick.
to ask
Here,
you if I can
he'd have been
exercise
dead.
my freedom.
They doing
Yeah, I can.
these.
Yeah, I can.
somebody-
Y'all
They
gotta
don't
learn the
even-
law.
No, well, you gotta learn.
They
If
go-
y'all gotta learn the law.
If somebody
Don't walk up on me. Stay right there.
They don't,
what's gonna happen? It's a public park. What's gonna happen? Walk anywhere.
they don't do that.
Keep
They
coming
do-
up.
We're gonna punch you walk anywhere in public.
I'm gonna mace your ass real quick.
Me? Oh, is that all? So you're one of those guys?
I'll
You
spray
a
the shit out you. Yeah.
I would rather you punch me in
Just
my face.
learn how to act, bro.
Learn how to act. Learn how to ask. Learn how to ask.
Why you acting like a right now?
Acting like a what?
You heard me. Sit down.
Oh, sit down. If I stand up, what's the penalty?
Come on. Look at him.
If I stand up, what's the penalty?
Y'all need to learn how to. Y'all need to learn how to act.
Don't make a move, man.
Y'all need to learn how. We can record all we want around here.
Record it, brother, man.
Now Chud would get called out for his antics,
Leave you alone, you racist predator piece of shit!
He's
Because
not
you're a
serious,
fucking
you're
racist
laughing.
predator piece of shit!
and the police would speak with him numerous times, but of course he'd play victim.
If what you're doing is going around using racial slurs and profanity, that's a little different.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Are you gonna argue that in court? Because I walked into the gas station and walked out. And the guy, and as I
Walk
walked
to the
into my
gas
truck,
station. Are you
I turn
there?
around. He's got something behind his back that looks like a gun. It's a drill.
Well, they're saying that.
So I turn. I don't give a fuck what they're saying. It's all recorded
I got you.
and it's live streamed.
I know. I got you. I'm just telling
And
you.
I have every right to say whatever I want on the internet without being chimped out on in public.
See, Big Bad Chud is really insecure Dalton, who once looked like Bieber. Mugshots from when he was 18 and 19 would reveal a chubbier face, and he'd even address old photos of him saying posting the pics of the old fat me. I lost 150 pounds and reshaped my entire body years before Ozempic was ever heard of. They want you to stay fat and low T. They were free face, grew a mustache and muscles, and felt the confidence he never had as a youth. But this would also explain his fixation with bullying. It's nothing more than a reflection of his insecurities. And while now he might look like Chud, in the back of his head, he forever feels like Dalton. So he has to bully people to feed his ego, to make himself feel better.
No more, right?
Now, the name Chud the Builder apparently comes from the fact that he owned a contracting company attempt to raise $100,000. The post would state, "Dear friends, supporters, and champions of free speech. My name is Dalton Etherly, and I'm reaching out with a heavy heart, fighting to protect my family and my business. Just over 1 year ago, I started DLE acting job after BLM activists targeted me over words I shared online, jokes and opinions they twisted to end my career. With no other way to support my family, my precious 2-year-old son, I poured everything into this small business, working tirelessly to provide for my family and build a future. But now, that dream is under attack. Not for the quality of my work, but for what I say online. I've shared mild jokes, unfiltered thoughts, and yes, sometimes I've used the N-word in what I thought was edgy, harmless humor. I know it's controversial, but it's my right to speak freely. For that, hundreds of people in my city are slandering my business, spreading lies to tear down everything I've worked for.
You did that.
The hate has escalated to a horrifying level. I've received death threats so vile they shake me to my core.
You did that shit.
People threatening to grape and murder me, and even art, and keeps me up. 23,000 followers who connect with my story, my resilience, and my refusal to be silenced. People are beginning to stand up for American ideals and values.
All day.
This platform is a chance to turn things around, but right now, I'm broke. This slander has crushed my business's income, and I'm struggling to keep food on the table, pay our bills, and protect my family from this onslaught. I need your help to bridge this gap and rebuild. Your donation will go toward covering basic living expenses to keep my family secure, exploring legal options to fight the slander and protect my family from these vicious threats, find new ways to create a sustainable income for me and my family. This isn't just about money. It's about standing up to a mob, trying to destroy not just my family's future over words, but our rights to free speech as a whole. If you've ever felt silenced, attacked, or punished for your beliefs, you know this fight. My business, only a year old, was born from necessity after I was canceled once before, and now I'm facing it again. With your support, I can rise above this hate, provide for my family, and prove that cancel culture won't break us. Every dollar, every share, every prayer means the world to us. Thank you for standing with my family in this battle for freedom and survival. With gratitude, Dalton Etherly, aka Chud the Builder. Once again,
I'm trying to pay off your loan.
Stop calling me. You sound like a psycho, I swear to God.
I'm calling you to let you know that we're gonna pay off every loan you have.
Playing the victim, Chud would try to market his downfall as being silenced, attacked, and stripped of his rights. He was attempting to play the martyr in the hopes that like-minded people would rally behind him, and some fell for the play. Chud was already facing criminal charges for harassment, and his public defender would withdraw from the case after discovering Chud raised over $40,000, and Chud's donations have now passed over $60,000. And the whole time, reading through his well thought out speech, whatever you want to call it, right? Hearing how people have targeted him for mild jokes that he said online, things that weren't meant to be taken as so serious. He might have said the N-word, but it wasn't nothing that nobody should be offended to the point that they ruin his business, right? And his First Amendment has been attacked, his freedom of speech. But you know what other right he had the whole entire time? The right to shut the fuck up. The entire time, this man possessed the right to shut the fuck up and get offline. And if you can clearly see that what you're doing is building a hate train of people that do not like that shit, why would you continue to do it? I should have the right to piss off a bunch of people, but y'all shouldn't have the right to be upset with me. So when your reviews go so bad, your business tanks, you want to blame it on the people, but not take responsibility for the shit you spewed into the world. It doesn't work like that. Again, people love being able to do what they want, but they want to be able to pick the consequence. And that's not how this world works. On May 7th, less than a week before the shooting, Chud posted a Twitter stating, "I will defend my life with lethal force. Do not approach me with intent to threaten bodily harm. Series finale is dead chimp on the pavement and you monkeys rioting while I walk free. Stay tuned." Now this message right here, it's a clear indication of he knew exactly where this was going and he was still continuing to incite it. This is pouring gas on a fire. You know how this is gonna end. You know eventually someone's gonna try to do something and you've played it so many times in your mind, you're gonna pull out and shoot them. You're gonna pull out and shoot them. You're literally saying it online. If you threaten me with harm, with violence, I'm gonna defend myself with lethal force. This whole time you were looking for an excuse to hurt somebody because of whatever hurt you had inside of you that you felt you needed to project all of this negativity. Chud had also recently been arrested after being kicked out of a restaurant and refusing to pay for appetizers. And apparently he'd be visited by the FBI, who warned him about what he was doing and the possibility of what could happen. So he talked about it. The FBI came and saw him and were like, look, what you're doing could potentially cause riots. What you're doing could potentially get you hurt or lead to you hurting somebody. They knew what was gonna happen, literally, before it happened. And it's just like, was there no legal thing that they could have done to intervene in this situation? Because when you have somebody, right, there's a lot of laws in which they can easily disarm people. If there's a mental health situation going on, they can disarm you, right? Because you have to qualify mentally to a mental capacity to even own or possess firearms. So when you see somebody inciting shit, when you see somebody provoking people, is there not a law in which you can disarm that person, which would essentially stop them from doing that shit? Or is that getting into the line of, oh, the government's just gonna use that as a means of disarming the people? Because I don't agree with that. I support the Second Amendment 100%, even though I lost my right to bear arms when I was convicted of a felony. I don't have that right, but I 100% support everyone else's right to defend themselves and their family. But when you're purposely provoking and inciting a situation in which your whole game plan is to shoot someone when they try you, the thing I don't like about it is it shows you're a bitch with a gun. And 9 times out of 10, the softest, scariest person is the first one to shoot. Because the power behind that gun, that's the cause of you doing this shit. The empowerment. It's no different than a corrupt cop putting on that badge and belt. All of a sudden their shit just got this much bigger because they have this power. And that's the same thing he was acting like. So when he's stripped of that, how is he as a man? Is he gonna stand 10 toes with all these people and talk how he talks? Or is he gonna fold because he no longer has?
Si te chocaron, incluso si no ibas manejando, tienes que probar esto.
Si tuviste un accidente, aunque tú no estuvieras manejando, necesitas ver esto. porque si estuviste en un choque en el último año, podrías tener derecho a recibir una compensación grande en efectivo y ni siquiera saberlo. Lo único que tienes que hacer es dar clic en el enlace de este video, responder 5 preguntas sencillas sobre tu accidente y ver si tu caso puede valer dinero, así o incluso así. Si el accidente no fue tu culpa y ocurrió en los últimos 12 meses, podrías recibir mucho más de lo que imaginas. Y si pasó en los últimos 30 días, podría valer todavía más. Y esto no aplica solo para conductores. Si ibas como pasajero en un Uber, caminando, en bicicleta o en motocicleta, aún podrías calificar. La mayoría de las personas nunca lo revisan y las aseguradoras esperan que no lo hagas. Así que no te saltes esto. Haz clic en el enlace y descubre cuánto podría valer tu caso. Personas en todo el país ya han recibido cheques por decenas de miles y a veces cientos de miles de dólares. Y lo hicieron sin ir a la corte. Eso es porque ya hay dinero destinado para accidentes como estos. Por ejemplo, Nicole pensó que su accidente no era gran cosa, pero después de revisar su caso, terminó recibiendo $90,000.
Oh my God!
Y si el accidente no fue tu culpa, podrías recibir dinero por el tiempo que no pudiste trabajar, gastos médicos, dolor y sufrimiento, daños a tu vehículo. Y no tienes que pagar nada por adelantado. No tienes que pelear con la aseguradora. Revisar es fácil. Solo haz clic en el enlace y responde 5 preguntas rápidas. Toma alrededor de 30 segundos. Muchas personas piensan, lo que la aseguradora me ofrece es lo único que puedo recibir. Eso no es cierto. Eso fue lo que Jessica pensó también. La aseguradora le dijo que sus lesiones no valían mucho, aunque sus cuentas médicas seguían aumentando. Luego encontró este servicio y terminó recibiendo 5 veces más de lo que la aseguradora le ofreció al principio. Su acuerdo final fue de $72,000.
We got a settlement for $72,000.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Por un accidente que ocurrió ese mismo año. Si aunque sea tienes curiosidad de cuánto podría valer tu accidente, haz clic en el enlace y revísalo. Esto es lo que pasa después. Después de responder las preguntas, en cuestión de minutos, un analista de accidente en tu área te llamará directamente para revisar tu caso. En ese momento determinarán si tienes un caso. Y si calificas, ellos se encargan de todo por ti, sin perseguir papeles, sin discutir con la aseguradora, sin gastos de tu bolsillo. Tú solo esperas a recibir tu compensación. Algunos casos incluso se resuelven en solo unos meses.
Look what came in today, $72,000. You heard that right? That's literally life-changing money for me. Just to be clear, I did not do anything special to get this check. I just followed a couple simple steps. All I know, I was injured in an accident that was not my fault, and I had insurance when it happened. So if that sounds like your situation, let me show you exactly what I did. I clicked on this site, I answered a few quick questions, and requested a free case evaluation. After I submitted, literally within 2 minutes, I was called by a case analyst in my area.
Para ver si tu accidente califica, haz clic en el enlace abajo y responde las 5 preguntas. Ahora, algunas personas se sienten incómodas haciendo esto. No quieren causar problemas. Sienten que puede parecer codicia. Pero esto no se trata de codicia. Si el accidente no fue tu culpa, no deberías estar pagando por él. Las aseguradoras se quedan con el dinero si tú no haces nada. Tienes derecho a saber cuánto te corresponde. Ahora imagina lo que ese dinero podría hacer por ti. $10,000, $50,000 o incluso $100,000. Cuentas pagadas, un auto más seguro, menos estrés. De eso se trata realmente. Una última cosa que debes saber. Existe un límite de tiempo para hacer un reclamo por accidente. En muchos casos solo tienes alrededor de 12 meses desde la fecha del accidente para actuar. Después de eso, la oportunidad se pierde. Sin recordatorios, sin avisos. La aseguradora se queda con el dinero. Así que si tu accidente ocurrió en el último año, no esperes. Haz clic en el enlace, responde 5 preguntas sencillas y descubre cuánto podría valer tu caso mientras todavía estás a tiempo.
stop scrolling. If you've been in a car accident, what I'm about to tell you is way more important than whatever video or reel you're about to watch, because the next 30 seconds could be the difference between, hey, I got Christmas money, and holy crap, I got life-changing money. After my car accident, my insurance offered me $6,000, which sounded all right, and then I remembered how sleazy insurance companies are. I thought about the pain, the missed work, the stress, the hospital visits, the sleepless nights. $6,000 was an insult. So instead of just accepting that offer, I clicked the link below and did a free 30-second check. Same crash, same injuries, same person. My final payout, $52,000. All from 30-second check I almost didn't do. Let me tell you why that happens. Insurance companies are not trying to pay you what you deserve. They smile, they sound caring, but behind the scenes, their job is simple. Save their company money by paying you less. So they hit you early with what looks like a pretty good offer, hoping you don't talk to a real accident lawyer. Don't figure out what your case is actually worth, and definitely don't push back. And once you sign that offer,
that power. Well, the same day of the shooting, Chud posted to Twitter reenacting to a video of DJ Academics speaking with Sneeko, and Chud would say, "Insane, the FBI interviews me for not paying for 2 appetizers that I didn't get to finish before being rudely kicked out of the restaurant. However, blacks can actively call for people to blow my brains out, and they give 0 fucks."
Trump went out there and like clapped that nigga from Iran, that fucking supreme leader. That might have to be Chud. Get him out the way, cause he's trying to start some shit. We ain't trying to do it.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see people die over a word.
I just been letting
well, he
go.
problematic. We might like somebody might have to just do it. I don't care who do it. Black, white, who cares?
It looks like it's been working.
I care. I don't want to see people die for a stupid reason.
I guess.
Advocating for violence is not the way.
No, nobody wants to prevent race. He's the violent one. You don't realize he's the violent one?
Isn't he majority acting he's acting in self-defense, right?
Fuck no. Do you see what he's saying? He's daring people to do something.
Words aren't violent, Words aren't violent.
Your rhetoric could be insightful.
Now, I personally don't agree with academics saying what someone should and shouldn't do, and including himself in the situation by saying we. Because at the end of the day, that could be blowback for him that I'm sure he didn't mean. When someone is doing shit like this, and they're specifically targeting a certain community, I could understand him being upset. I'm not gonna call for extreme violence in that situation, and I don't want someone to do something I'm not willing to do myself. But there was a man outside of that courtroom who was willing to risk it all, even his own life, and he decided to put hands on Chud. Now, luckily, the shooting victim would survive, and no one else should fall victim to Chud's trap, as Montgomery sheriffs have announced he's been charged with attempted murder, employing a firearm during a dangerous felony, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment with a weapon. Under Tennessee law, attempted murder carries up to 25 years. Employing a firearm during a dangerous felony is up to 15 years, with a mandatory minimum of 6. Aggravated assault is another 15, and reckless endangerment with a weapon is up to 6. So at max, Chud the Builder is now facing 61 years in Tennessee State Prison. The man who tried to align racism with freedom of speech and act hard while hiding behind a gun is now in jail where his supply of testosterone is no longer. Each day incarcerated, Chud will slowly turn back into Dalton, and we all know he isn't going to be in general population. He's going to be tucked away in protective custody because now he doesn't have his gun to hide behind. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is Tennessee. This is the South we're talking about. I don't know about Montgomery County specifically, how that jail is, but Tennessee State Prison, yeah, he ain't gonna be the majority in there at fucking all. I'm gonna be honest with you. California made a hell of a name for like the white racist people inside of prisons.
Right.
But in the South, that shit just holds no weight. White people are a minority. The only reason the numbers say otherwise is because they classify Latinos as white when they go to prison. There's so many. You can go on the Florida Department of Corrections website. You'll see a full-blown Mexican man and it's gonna say white. Cuban, white. Puerto Rican, maybe something else. But for the most part, they fuck those numbers up. So it'll say there's a huge white population, But when you're in there, it's a whole
shit.
nother ball game. And I guarantee you that Dalton is not going to be that way inside of there. The way he hides behind the law, the way he hides behind the Second Amendment, he hides behind this, he hides behind that. He's not going to stand on business and walk around saying that shit inside of jail, because they're going to be popping on him left and right unless he's in an all-white dorm. Prison, it ain't gonna happen like that. And because of the notoriety in this case, they might have placed him in protective custody just so he doesn't fall victim inside of there, depending on how they jail, when it's just him with no weapon to defend himself with. But like I said, I don't condone any of this. Looking at him, you can tell he definitely got on some juice to get that size. All of a sudden, he's just yoked up with this fucking cowboy mustache. And you can tell it's usually the people like that that are the most insecure. It like never fails. It's like when you see a truck, right? You see this fucking Ford, whatever, or a TRX truck fly by you. And it's like jacked up, whatever, rims is crazy, and then when they pull up and get out, the guy's like 5'2". You know what I mean? Like the insecurities just show. So when you see somebody who's juiced up, acting like they're big and bad, usually they're trying to make up and compensate for something else. And this situation, I hope the man that swung on him doesn't get charged. I hope he doesn't, to be honest with you, because he was provoked like everyone else was provoked. And he swung a punch that every single person that Chud Dalton previously recorded, ridiculed, provoked, incited, that man swung for, and he used it. And that man took a bullet for the people. But hey, let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. Till next time.
I'm Eric Jones. Unlike our
Damn, man. That ain't cool, bro. Just not cool, bro. It's something you just don't do, bruh. Now you in the little stew, bruh. Marinate, what you do, bruh? I was calling Nick, man. I don't know, I was tripping, man. I thought I was Superman. And then, no, I was... What is that? Yo, that was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy. Why did he do that? All right, y'all, that's it. I'm out of here. Peace out. I was just doing a little test stream. That was crazy. Chud the Builder has been gone. It's crazy.